Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called Total Eclipse of the Heart, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio. How is everybody feeling? We are going to go ahead and get into the reading. We have 4 piles to choose from today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this eclipse and what it means like astrologically, etc. And if you want to just skip that part and go directly to the reading, you certainly can. I'll go through the piles and you can skip to the description box below if you're feeling inclined to do that and choose your pile, okay? So pile number 1 is the Citrine stone. Pile number 2 is the Rainbow Aura Quartz. Pile number 3 is the Sugilite alien head. And pile number 4 is the Black Obsidian pyramid, okay? So we have 4 piles to choose from. We're gonna look at what's going on right now with you during this eclipse and also when it comes to love, because this eclipse is a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. You can definitely expect some dramatics, okay? And I mean, I always think on eclipses, the best thing to do is to stay home, clean, fast, and listen to mantras. But sometimes life just comes in and sneaks up on you anyway, even if you're just at home being a good boy or a good girl. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about this eclipse. But first of all, Total Eclipse of the Heart is actually a song title from Bonnie Tyler's 1983 song, Total Eclipse of the Heart, okay? And Bonnie Tyler was a Welsh singer who put this song out on her record, Faster Than the Speed of Night, okay? And I'm just gonna read you a couple lyrics from that song. And it says, every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified and then I see the look in your eyes. And I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever, okay? So you can look that song up. It's very dramatic. It's totally 1980s, like hair band, even though she wasn't really like a hair band, but it is very dramatic, okay? For those of you that are gonna like remember some of the lyrics, it's like, turn around, bright eyes, okay, like at the beginning of the song. Once we were falling in love, now we're only falling apart, you know, total eclipse of the heart, okay? So this eclipse could come with some dramatics, and, you know, eclipses are coming in pairs. So on April 30th, we had a new moon solar eclipse in Taurus, and I found with that eclipse, like I couldn't sleep very much and I was wide awake, and that new moon solar eclipse was right on Beltane, and on that day we had a moon conjunction Uranus aspect, and the moon was also sextiling Mars at that time. And it was a hard one, but I think this one is a little bit more active, if you will, okay? Or maybe it's just more spiritually active, but this full moon lunar eclipse is happening at 25 degrees Scorpio. So for those of you that have fixed planets at 25 degrees, you're really going to be feeling it big time. For those of you that have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, if you have something or a planet in your chart at 25 degrees Scorpio or in any of those fixed signs, you're going to feel this full moon lunar eclipse. I mean, we're all going to feel it at the end of the day. And we're already probably feeling it right now, because eclipses aren't just at the exact moment that they happen, they're building. The energy is building. And so let's just talk a little bit about how I'm kind of looking at this eclipse. And something that's been coming up for me is thinking about who would we be if we didn't have all the pain that we've accumulated over our life, you know? And some of it is physical pain too. I mean, I've been in a lot of physical pain over the last week or so, and just thinking about like, if we didn't have that physical pain, how much easier, kinder, better, amazing, awesome life could be. And I know sometimes we can't help what's going on with us physically, but you know, just thinking about an emotional pain too. What would we be like if we didn't have those deep emotional pain, issues, anger, resentment? What if we didn't have those things anymore and our slate was just kind of wiped clean like the Fool, okay? And I know some things we can't forget that easy. And I'm not talking about the easy thing where, not the easy thing, but you know what I mean. I'm not talking about the simpler thing where someone cuts you off in line, or, you know, a friend gossips or whatever, says something bitchy to you or passive aggressive to you. I mean, those aren't great situations. They're not, you know, but I'm talking about the emotional patterns that have been triggering us for like our entire lives, right? And what if we didn't hang on to so much of that as we kind of are moving through our days? Like, how would our days feel better? And how would we feel better emotionally and physically? Okay, just something I've been thinking about. And there's a couple aspects that the moon is making. The moon is actually making a lot more aspects for the full moon lunar eclipse than the moon was making on Beltane. Okay, so on the day of the eclipse, we have moon sextile Pluto in Capricorn. We also have the moon in Scorpio squaring Saturn in Aquarius, and then we have the moon trine Mars and Neptune in Pisces. Okay, and I think this could go a number of two ways based on how you feel this. Okay, with the moon sextile Pluto in Capricorn, it's a good time to work on those Plutonian issues of deep pain, betrayals, traumas, and to kind of, hopefully with the moon sextile Pluto, hopefully letting some of that poison, like letting some of it release from us and getting some type of an emotional release from that helps us catapult us into the coming season, okay? And hopefully helps to wrap up some issues that we might have been feeling from the last eclipse season that was in November and December of last year. So giving us maybe some peace and some emotional dignity and peace about some of the losses that all of us have suffered over the last 6 months, and even over the last couple of years, because a lot of us have taken some big losses over that time. I also think with the moon sextile Pluto in Capricorn, it's a good time to call back your power emotionally. It's a good time to call back your sovereignty. With the moon square Saturn in Aquarius, though, at this time, that is more of a reality check. So it's more of a reality check, especially around the body and where the body is getting very rigid, and, you know, where our feelings are, where we obsessively, with the moon in Scorpio, where we obsessively want to keep going and pushing, but then with the square to Saturn, it's like I physically can't, like my body hurts, or I need more time, or I'm getting a reality check on how far we can actually take something, right? So that moon square Saturn is going to be there, and it is a pretty tight square. So also the moon square Saturn can have to do with, like, you know, treating ourselves like shit and not really giving ourselves what we need, and emotionally punishing ourselves for our feelings and the things that, you know, because Scorpio is very intense. It's very intense energy, and Saturn doesn't want us saying too much, acting out too much. It wants to kind of put a lid on some of that intensity. And with the square, it's like, okay, I feel uncomfortable because I feel like I can't express some of what's going on inside of me, and I feel frustrated because of that. Okay, so watch out for that too, and watch out for pushing yourself too far emotionally or physically during this full moon lunar eclipse. And then finally, we have the moon trine Mars and Neptune. Now, this is going to be interesting, I think, because with the solar eclipse, with the moon Uranus conjunction, at least me personally, I found it very, very hard to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night. It wasn't a bad feeling per se. It just was a very restless, churning, burning type of a thing going on. With the moon trine Mars and Neptune during this eclipse in Pisces, I feel like, you know, there is going to be some idealism. There might be some escapism. There might be moments when we find ourselves getting, you know, angry about something, but then motivated to make some changes, but then we're feeling quite spiritual, or we're feeling like maybe we just want to rest and take it easy. So Mars Neptune as a combination can really represent the spiritual warrior. But it also, Mars Neptune can also be violence. It can also be pain, anger, violence, frustrations, that too, okay? So, but in our case with the moon here, the moon is getting a trine from Mars and Neptune. So maybe we're finally getting, some of our emotions are finally moving and releasing, and we're getting some spiritual healing, hopefully, during this full moon lunar eclipse, okay? I would say stay away from, I mean, if you know how to handle yourself, it might be a cool time to, you know, partake in some substances because it is a trine, but I would also say be safe, be in your own home. Don't do it away from like where you would have control, okay? And pay attention, like if you feel you're over the weekend, like if you're doing too many substances, or you're getting drunk, or you're getting or you're getting this and you're getting that, it might be a time when people can really go overboard with that energy. So just take it easy on the substances or the drugs or the spacing out. Just take it a little bit easy on that, because with the moon square Saturn, it's going to be like a reality check, right? If we get to like, I can do anything, right? If we get like that, then the, you know, Saturn's gonna come and slap us on our wrist, okay? So I would just be aware of that, and be aware that other people might very much be in the dramatic side of this eclipse and wanting to like see dramatics, or wanting to play out some dramatic scene with you. And I would just say keep your center and hold on to your peace. And if you need to stand up for someone or say something, you know, by all means do it, but keep yourself under control is what I would say, okay? I always say that during eclipses anyway, to keep ourselves under control during eclipses. So let's go ahead and get into the reading today, and we're gonna find out what is in store for you during this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and what is the energy currently around you, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. I actually have 4 piles today, which I normally don't do. We will have an extended reading as well at the end of every pile. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the citrine stone, and today's reading is called Total Eclipse of the Heart, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, and we are gonna go ahead and get into what's going on with you, with your relationship, or your lack thereof, if you're feeling that, or just where you're standing with your heart space right now, okay? Pile number 1, as we go ahead and move into this lunar eclipse on Sunday, May 15th, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and tap into the energy. We will have an extended reading after for those of you that would like to join me, and I'm probably gonna be getting 18 plus on the extended readings, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it for my beautiful pile number 1s. Let's go ahead and see. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the energy of pile number 1 who comes here today seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium in the channel between yourself and pile number 1. Okay. Okay, Spirit is telling me rose gold. They're also telling me like an ember, which I think is like, or an amber, maybe. Amber, okay? An ember, like a little bit of fire, or like the ember of a fire, okay? But they're also saying amber to me, which can also be a stone. Like amber as like a mineral, but it also could be the name of a person, okay? And like I said, they just gave me rose gold as well. So maybe some of you have a favorite necklace or bracelet or something that has rose gold in it and you're wearing it today or you're going to wear it. What else? What else here for pile number 1, please? Okay. I just heard mistakes that were made in the past are not going to be made anymore. Like there is something about this eclipse for you, pile number 1. And citrine is definitely an energy of upliftment and creativity, talking especially to the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, okay? Let's go ahead and see anything else here for pile number 1. Okay, Spirit is telling me jello or jelly. So jelly or a jam, or also just jelly, as in, well, as Beyonce would say, I don't think you're ready for this jelly, right? Because your body's too bootylicious for them, baby, pile number 1. But also too, jelly as in, you know, jello or jelly. Jelly could also be jealous, like someone saying I'm jelly instead of saying I'm jealous, right? Also, I just heard gram. It could be a reference to Instagram or to the name gram, okay? Or it could be a reference towards measuring something. All right, I also feel like someone is mentioning something on Instagram and maybe making a comment, like someone is somewhere and they're like, oh, I'm jelly, I wish I could be there too, or something like that, okay? That type of thing. Anything else here? All right, anything else here for pile number 1, please? Okay, Spirit's also giving me the name Megan, so some of you may know someone with that name, or the M names in general may be important here. I just heard just something about like a minor mistake, or not reading into things and going straight to the dramatics. Okay, pile number 1. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have the energy of the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, and in this deck, it looks very, the Hierophant is looking very relaxed and plugged in, shamanistic even, and connected to nature instead of, you know, on the cold pillar in the fancy outfit, okay? It just looks like an energy of relaxing and enjoying and being connected into nature. And some of you may have Taurus in your chart as well, with the Hierophant showing up here, or maybe a person that you're thinking about. But for you guys during this full moon eclipse, it's going to be really important to relax. And even like hypnosis, where you count down or you count back from 10, and then you just start feeling lighter and you start feeling like, you know, I'm getting something about being less inhibited as well, pile number 1. Like being less inhibited and more being able to kind of just be expressive in the moment, okay? So let's go ahead. It's straight up 12 o'clock right now in your pile number 1. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. We have the Ace of Wands talking about a new beginning and not making the same mistakes in partnerships or connections, or being able to start over. And not only that, being able to start over in a way that is like very passionate and very deep or intense, okay? And I can see 2 figures burning in the background here. So what's that song? Ah, da, 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 while our beds are burning, that type of thing. Like maybe there's some ritual that you can do during this lunar eclipse, pile number 1, where you take something and you put it in the fire as a symbolic, like letting go. You know what I mean? Of course, we have to be a little bit careful, like when we're playing with fire, right? But it kind of reminds me of spells where they have the 2 people facing each other and they're doing a cord cutting and they're burning the fire, all right? And we have the Ace of Wands here. So we have the Page of Wands, okay? Very nice, pile number 1. We have the 9 of Swords, and we have here the lightness of being. Wow, and this is a naughty deck. I just couldn't help but put it in here, but here, this photo isn't very naughty at all. It's very classy, very nice, very well put together. And I love her robe, her silk robe, and it says the lightness of being, all right? And we have Venus in Libra. So there is something about this eclipse that I feel is helping you guys to shed whatever happened in the past, and to feel lighter, and to feel, to just feel like more sensual as well, and to feel more calm and peaceful in your body. All right. And I can see the exposed neck and shoulder. So some of you may have like an erogenous zone there as well. And I also feel like someone really liking the way another person smells. Okay. Some people really like it when you like lick their neck, or where you kiss their shoulders, that type of thing. Or when someone is kind of like softly or gently kissing your neck. Okay. So this is nice. I feel like this is really nice, pile number one, this lightness of being. And I feel like sleeping, relaxing, etc. is cool, is important for you guys. And wrapping yourself up in a blankie. That's what I like to do sometimes, like wrap myself up in a blankie. And I feel like, you know, for those of you that met someone new, or for those of you that are deciding to put, you know, put on the fire like old relationships and things that you've kind of walked away from and you've turned away from, I feel like, you know, there's no need to worry. Like with the Nine of Swords, it's like, I don't know, you know, and look at, he's kissing her neck and her shoulder blade there too. And it's like really being in the moment with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, really being passionate and in the moment, and kind of giving yourself over to the moment and living in the present moment, rather than like rehashing all the things of the past, or letting yourself like get worried about things, okay? Or letting the old things that bothered you kind of sneak up on you again, is what I feel, pile number one, with the Nine of Swords here. It's like, you know, you're having a good time, or you're enjoying yourself, or there's something new on the horizon for you that's very exciting and uplifting, but we're still, with the Nine of Swords, it's like we're still a little worried, maybe about how we're going to be treated, and maybe feeling a little nervous about relationships in general. I mean, it's exciting at the beginning, but it's also a little bit nervous, right? And it can be even made more so if there's things in our past that have, you know, really, really been hurtful. Like some of the things that people have written or said. Pile number one, I feel like particularly for you guys, things that people have written about you or said about you, or, you know, sometimes when we're trying to get into the moment, those things will start coming into our head, right? And things start coming to a head, and we're like, no, I'm trying to enjoy myself sensually. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay out of my head type of thing. And I feel like some of you, instead of, you know, saying something, especially if this is a new thing and things are going well, instead of maybe, you know, a lot of times I'll say, go ahead and voice your fears. But in this case, I feel like, let's not bring our baggage from the past into anything new. And if you are having thoughts that are very like hard to get out of your head about other things in your life, things you've been worried about, maybe try writing those down. And because I'm seeing a pen here, or a pencil, so maybe try writing those things down. All right. And also around this eclipse, I would just say, pile number one, be careful like with your feet. Okay. Just be nice to your feet. And especially if you feel like, you know, sometimes during eclipses we can get kind of clumsy, or we could like stub our toe, or we could get a scratch on our foot or something like that. Maybe some of you have been dealing with that. But I mean, I think everything's going to be fine. And from a body perspective, I see things really lightening up for you. Okay, pile number one, let's see what else here. We have, I know I'm running out of time, impatience. Okay, so maybe some of you feel like you've been running out of time, like, you know, like something ended, a relationship ended, or something is done. And, you know, it's like, am I starting over, or am I still thinking about this? Am I still kind of struggling with this? And some of you may have felt like, you know, if this situation didn't work out for me, then what? Like, am I running out of time? Is my biological clock ticking? Am I too old? Am I, you know, have I passed a certain threshold and now I can't have what I want, type of thing? You have no idea how badly I want to taste you. Thirsty. Okay. So also someone here kind of like, it's time to open up. It's time to go out with someone. No one talks about how stressful dating can be. You know, it's like, it's time to respond. If someone's been trying to get to know you or things like that, I feel like it is maybe, if you want to make it happen, pile number one, it's time to respond. And with the Page of Wands here, with this, you have no idea how badly I want to taste you. We can see the neck and the shoulder, all the erogenous zones, and you know, it looks like he's, you know, smelling her or kind of taking her in. It is very passionate. Yeah, let's see what else. We have Cartouche. Okay, so this is from the Isis deck. Choose to release that which would lower your vibration into fear, right? With the Nine of Swords. Come back to love. Stay true to yourself, and you shall inspire others to think or speak more positively when they are around you. Yeah, I talked about people like being jealous or jelly, that type of thing, and the words and what's being said, right? Come back to love, stay true to yourself, and you shall inspire others to think or speak more positively when they're around you. Invoking the power of speech and words for your strength, protection, and spiritual growth will work effectively for you. You know, when this whole thing of coming back to love and staying true to yourself to inspire others to be more positive around you, I honestly, I feel people should just be nice anyway. Like, you shouldn't have to inspire others to treat you in the right way, okay? I think come back to love, stay true to yourself, and inspire yourself to think and speak more positively about you is what I feel, pile number one. If you get into these thought loops with the Nine of Swords, where it's like, well, I'm not, you know, this thing still bothers me, or I don't feel good enough, or I still have worries on my mind about different things, right? And Spirit saying, you know, go with your passions, go with the excitement, try not to worry, and be light, you know, don't let things bring you down, like things that people say. I would also say not responding. If there are people who are trying to, what's the word? I don't want to say intimidate you, but if they're trying to invoke a reaction in you or solicit an action in you, I do think it's better to avoid that and just, you know, especially online. If there's people writing things and you don't agree with them or whatever, I feel pile number one, just be light at this time, okay? Delight in you, pile number one. We have surrender. Surrender your need to control the outcome. Just be with life in this present moment. Yeah, with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Wands, being with life in the present moment and not overthinking and just being a lot lighter, okay? And allowing fear to dissipate, okay? And we could have some impatience, like this person, I feel if you guys are getting to know someone or there's something new, you know, developing in your world, I feel like this person is like impatient, or they do want to see you, or they do want to talk to you, and they are thirsty, okay? They're thirsting. We have self-worth. Yeah. Fancy Jasper comes in a beautiful blend of colors: green for the heart, stimulating self-love, and warm colors for the lower chakras for self-empowerment. Fancy Jasper helps you release feelings of inadequacy and lack of self-worth. It restores a sense of self-respect by quieting the critical voice within you. Fancy Jasper helps you to value the beautiful, special person that you are. I embrace my individuality and I honor my worth. Very nice, pile number one. Very, very nice. We have here the dragonfly. I feel like during this full moon eclipse, this is air energy. I feel like your mind is, if you're constantly Like I'm running out of time in my life, or the timing is always off, or there's always some type of feeling of anxiety or impatience. It's 12-12 right now, pile number 1 in your reading. I feel like here with this lightness of being, the dragonfly coming in and saying, you know, quiet your mind if you have thoughts that are coming in that are, you know, very aggravating or irritating, or people trying to bait you with certain things that they're saying or doing. I don't feel like this is going to be going on. And if for those of you that are in a relationship or partnership or dating, I don't feel like this bait and switch or baiting is going to be going on with your connection. I just feel there could be some other people in your life or other situations that maybe take your mind off things when in the past maybe you would have been completely engaged in the moment, okay? So Spirit talking about that lightness of being. We have the full moon in Gemini. The answers that you need are coming, okay? And look at this. We have the eyes closed here, not knowing. The eyes are closed in all 3 of these cards. All 4 of these cards, actually. You know, there's an energy of just going with it and worrying about it later and staying in the moment. But I know some of you, you have like very intense, penetrating minds, and you may want to know, like, why this, why that, why anything. Like, I need answers, right? So during this full moon lunar eclipse, some of you are going to be getting the answers that you need about a situation that has been worrying you or vexing you, is what I feel, okay? Some of you may have Gemini or Libra in your chart here. We have Venus in Libra, and then we have Gemini moon, okay? And I also feel like there's a message here of not getting distracted, especially if you're in a sensual moment, or if you're in a moment of, you know, excitement and activity in the present moment, not allowing those anxieties to kind of creep in. We have the moon in Aquarius here, so some of you may have moon or Gemini, moon in Gemini or moon in Aquarius, but it says here, your inner child awakens, moon in Aquarius, and free spirit. Yes, surrender to the lightness of being. Don't try to over control things, okay? Invoke the power of speech and words, like with the full moon in Gemini and the writing, and being careful of what you respond to during this eclipse, pile number 1. I do think this eclipse is indicating a new cycle for you. And look at that Hierophant with the lightness of being underneath there, okay? Relaxing, like you're not running out of time, okay? Being impatient about your life, and you know, maybe sometimes causing yourself more stress or anxiety than you even need to have. Like, just be in the moment and treasure those passionate moments where you're really doing what you love, or you're really getting to feel that electrical charge and that excitement from getting to know someone or being around someone. Okay, or even if there's memories that you guys have of this electric, exciting attraction that you once shared with someone, and now you kind of can't get that off your head, okay? Spirit is trying to help you guys relax, all right? And see the beautiful experiences that are around you with the Venus and Libra energy, okay? And not take like your own beauty or your own spiritual wisdom for granted is another thing that I feel here, all right, with the dragonfly and self-worth. Your inner wild child awakens and a free spirit emerges. I love that. Pile number 1. Let's go ahead and see anything else here for pile number 1 regarding the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. There's that Hierophant again. Wow. Okay, so really getting, I mean, there is an energy here of being comfortable and being vibrant and light in your body. And also getting some good sleep or a good release is what I feel here too. And I feel if for those of you that are with someone, or you're getting to know someone, or you're hooking up, or you're in a relationship, I really do feel like this full moon in Scorpio would be a nice time to express, you know, physical excitement and desire, but not to let those thoughts, you know, that tend to invade, like overtake us, right? Just brushing them off our shoulder, being in the here and now, being outdoors too. This Hierophant looks like he, you know, he looks like the pagan Hierophant, like he's outside enjoying the lightness of being and being around the cherry blossoms or the trees or the flowers. And let's see what else here. Let's see what else here. Total eclipse of the heart, full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Maybe you guys are going to end up, I mean, I feel like you guys could laugh or have a good time or really enjoy yourself, right? Ooh, look at this. Your inner wild child awakens. The 3 of Wands or the devil, okay? And I feel like something is tempting you guys a little bit here, okay? And it's like, should I go for that or not? Am I just going to end up in the same position that I was before? If I take action, if I decide to move ahead with something and throw caution to the wind and, you know, let my inner wild child awaken, is it going to, you know, is it going to remind me of my past or things in my past when, you know, I was in situations that were very tempting, like wanting something that's very tempting, but also it's like between the Hierophant here, it's like I've learned my lessons and I want my life to be more relaxed and embrace simplicity, but at the same time, I'm tempted by something and I kind of want to ride that wave, or I kind of want to give in to my pleasure. I kind of want to give in to temptation. I mean, if you're in the moment and you want to give in to temptation and pleasure, like, go for it, pile number 1. I'm not the one to tell you not to do that. This devil actually looks pretty sexy, okay? I'm not going to be the one to tell you, but I do feel like someone here may, you know, surrender your need to control the outcome. Just be with life in the present moment. This 3 of Wands, she looks like she's really just being in the present moment and just looking ahead, right? And try not to control things, all right? And don't be tempted to kind of go back to a situation where you felt like you were being controlled, because with this Hierophant here, it's like we need to be a free spirit and we need our freedom. Is the temptation worth it or not? Is kind of what I feel like the question is, because Spirit is wanting you guys to surrender and to just kind of live in the moment during this full moon eclipse, and don't try to control the outcome. All right. So that is what I am getting for you, my beautiful pile number 1s. For those of you that would like to join me on the extended reading, we're going to get 18 plus pile number 1, and I'd love to see you there. There'll be a link to my Vimeo channel below. Let's move on to pile number 2. Okay. Let's do it. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the Rainbow Aura Quartz, and today's reading is called Total Eclipse of the Heart, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio, okay? And you can listen to my intro if you want to about what this full moon is about and the energy that I'm kind of feeling around this full moon lunar eclipse. And it is one of cutting cords and asking ourselves, like, who would we be without all the pain that maybe we still are holding on to, or the pain that we've experienced? It's an interesting thought. I mean, we can't take away what happened or the pain that we felt, but how can we free ourselves from some of those emotional attachments that have been weighing us down? All right. So pile number 2, let's go ahead and get into it. We will have an extended reading at the end of the reading as well. For those of you that would like to get 18 plus with me on the extended reading, there'll be a link to my Vimeo channel below. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my pile number 2s who come here today seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium in the channel between yourself and pile number 2. Okay, Spirit is showing me a tiger and a toad. A tiger and a toad, pile number 2. I don't know why I'm getting those two specific things. What else here for pile number 2? Okay. I'm getting something that is kind of like lanky or has like dangly arms or dangly legs. You know, when someone is like thin and they get described as being lanky or having long arms or long legs? Maybe daddy long legs over here, pile number 2. Anyway, maybe some of you have a person in your life that you can identify like they're very lanky that way. They're very like tall or slender, or they have like long arms or long legs, all right? Maybe some of you had a brother, cousin, or something like that too. Or maybe even someone that got made fun of for being like really lanky. You know what I'm saying? Pile number 2, all right? Spirit is telling me some of you here were like latchkey kids as well. And, you know, where like both your parents were working, or you'd have to stay after school to get babysat because both your parents are working, or you would get home and it would just kind of be you there. Okay, so anyway, like that was a big thing in the 80s and the 90s, was all like the latchkey kids. Let's see what else here. Let's see what, and probably still a big thing now, but let's see, because most times you have most parents with both of them need to work, all right? Especially like in middle class families, of course, and even not. Let's see what else here for pile number 2, please. Okay, I just heard strawberry fields forever, or just strawberries in general. Okay, so maybe some of you have something strawberry flavored, or you're eating strawberries, but there's also a song called Strawberry Fields Forever. I think that's the name of it. Is that a Beatles song? Pile number 2. I'm not real familiar with the Beatles. My ear is just randomly itching me right now, and so is my nose, which tells me that someone is thinking about you. Pile number 2. Let's see what else here. Spirit is showing me something blue. Maybe it's like a blue washcloth, or somebody washing their face, or something blue, or like a hydration, maybe a hydration mask on the face. Pile number 2. Let's see what else here. Okay, Spirit is showing me like someone holding someone's head underneath water. I don't know if you guys had anything like that happen to you, or maybe you just feel like that lately, like, you know, like you need to come up for a breath, or you need to relax and come up for air. Or maybe some of you actually did experience that, or someone you knew experienced someone kind of like holding their head underwater. Maybe someone was saying that they were doing it as a joke, but I don't think it's really like, I don't think it's that funny at all. Pile number 2, I'm sure if that happened to you, it wasn't funny to you either. Wow. Just suddenly there's, okay, 9 of Swords, all right? So something that you guys have been worried about, or something that has made you guys anxious or upset with the 9 of Swords, all right? Pile number 2, maybe recalling some memories or things that were challenging for you guys as you were growing up. Please, no more barking. All right. Right as I started talking about that incident, somebody dropped something at my door and my dog heard it. But let's go, pile number 2. Let's find out. Total eclipse of the heart, full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, and needing to calm down a little bit, or maybe some of you have been having upsetting dreams. You know, that's the other thing that can happen during eclipses, is waking up in the morning or waking up in the middle of the night and being real upset. You know, like sometimes in the morning our dreams can still kind of sit with us and can be hard. We have Judgment here. Okay, we have Judgment, and there's the family. There's the 2 parents and the child. We have the 5 of Swords. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. All right. And we have the roads to regret or remorse, all right? And Cancer energy here on this card. This is like Black Moon, Lilith, and Cancer. But we also have card 34. I see 35 here too. I also see the number 55 or 55, all right? And definitely, I feel like you guys with this 9 of Swords really wondering And it could be about a particular person. It could have to do with a fire sign, an Aries or a Leo, but somebody that I feel like you guys were kind of like working towards a future with, and for whatever reason, someone could also be having a regret about you as well, okay? And then we have the Two of Swords and the Nine of Cups. And it's like, I thought we were happy, and then, then comes along the Three of Swords, okay? So it's like we go from being happy to kind of being crushed. And maybe with the Two of Swords, not realizing how good we had it with someone. And I feel like someone's dreams here, like working on a dream only to discover like that's not what the other person wants, or that's not like, or just being anxious and nervous about something too that you've been working on, a big dream or a goal that you've been working on and feeling like, I'm not seeing any progress. Two of Swords, like, I want to be happy, but I'm upset. Three of Swords. All right. So I feel like some of this has been going on for you during this full moon lunar eclipse. And clearly we can see that there was a big change that happened with Judgment here. And some of you may be wondering, like, does this person like regret what happened? Or do they ever look back like with remorse, and because they should have honored their commitment to me, or they should have taken this more seriously? And maybe some things in your own life, pile number two, like, am I going to regret some of the choices that I made? I feel like you guys had to deal with a situation that was becoming like very mentally draining, and something that, I mean, there might have also been jealousy involved or lies with the Five of Swords here. It's like pretending you're okay, but you're really not. And maybe like, I'm not going to put up with that kind of stuff anymore. Okay. But there's been a big change, and it's been a moment where I feel like you guys have had to really like look yourself in the mirror and see the truth of what's happening. Okay. And it may have really cut, because we have the sword here, and it looks like his fingers are tracing the sword, or the piece of the sword that would really, like, if you traced your finger over it, it would cut you. Okay. Thinking about someone else, being with someone else, and it hurting, you know what I mean? And I feel like what you guys are saying, no matter what I said or did, there's someone that wouldn't change or didn't have it in them to change at all, and maybe lied about it at some times, or made me believe that they were actually like down with it, or that we had moved on from certain issues together, and then finding out that's not actually the truth, and that's not actually the reality of what's going on, which I feel like could have to do with someone's infidelity, or it could have to do with someone like telling white lies or not telling all the truth. Okay. And looking back at this situation, wondering like, should I have seen it? Should I have, looking back, for you guys, like over the last 5 weeks or the last 5 months or 6 months, should I have seen this coming? Okay. And did I miss something crucial or critical? Okay. And does this person regret what they did, or are they just going on with their life like nothing happened? Is kind of what I feel some of the questions around this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio are bringing up for you guys. And with this Cancer energy, there is an energy of looking back at the past. Okay. And I can see the marijuana leaf here. So there, maybe some of you are needing to, and I was talking about how this moon is going to be trine Neptune as well. So maybe it is time to maybe, like, if there's something that's really bothering you, and keeping you from moving on. Maybe you can get a little help from the puff, puff, pass realm, pile number 2. But I mean, I just feel like there's been some massively big changes in your life path, pile number 2, that were very unexpected and could have really cut you deep at times. As Sheryl Crow would say, the first cut is the deepest, as we know. And thinking about this, like, should things have been differently? Could I have done something differently? And does this person have any regret or remorse over this? We have emptiness. My bed feels empty without you. Yeah. With judgment here, it's like something happened and someone got called out, or somebody was forced to make a decision or a choice, and now it's like, hey, I feel empty without you. We have here, I'm worried about my legacy status, okay? Yeah, I also feel like somebody here could be worried about their actions and what they did in this situation, and you know, how they're going to be remembered, okay? And I feel like there could be somebody, pile number 2, from your life that is very anxious or nervous about an upcoming separation that you and this person are going to have, or something that happened in the past, and they're still feeling empty and they're still feeling the brunt of this change, and they're possibly worried about, you know, how you, if you're looking through a distorted lens, looking back at this situation and worried about how they're kind of coming off. And maybe they need to be worried about that for a reason, pile number 2. I mean, it's, you know, it's not that easy, right? It takes 2 to tango, but, you know, it does take 2 to tango, all right? I do feel like someone here could feel like their head was messed with, okay? Or like their head got messed with. I'm also seeing someone here that likes to pull hair, or maybe likes to, like, you know, when you're sexually with someone and there's, people start like saying things to one another, or saying like demeaning comments to one another. Like, some people like that. They like the hair pulling. They like those kind of comments. Maybe someone took it too far here with the 5 of Swords. And there's some regret and remorse here. Reputation. Emptiness and reputation are 2 things here. We have the Flower of Life. You are entering into a fertile period of your life. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things manifest. Yeah, with Judgment here, surrendering your control over how things manifested in your life, and instead allowing things to take shape as they will. Don't resist change, okay? Don't fight against change. Instead, go with the flow, right? Here, and it's like looking back at something, like, could I have said something different or done something different? Should I have, you know, what should I have done here, okay? But Spirit is saying no. They want you to surrender your control over to Spirit and how things are gonna manifest, all right? Don't resist change. Instead, go with the flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming, okay? And some of you here, like, this water to me looks very like, I mean, it's funny because I was talking about a toad, and it looks like, you know, this water here is reminiscent of where a toad would live. And maybe that's a reference to, you know, kissing a few toads in life, and looking back at these situations like, you know, am I running out of time? Could I have done something different? Okay. Was I the toxic one? I mean, maybe part of it you were, pile number 2, in your life at one point. I feel some of you maybe hung on to the past and for longer than you needed to, and maybe tortured yourself needlessly regarding certain things that happened. Because I feel like when Judgment comes through, everything gets leveled. It's not really at our level of control to worry about. At that point, we have Archangel Gabriel who's blowing the trumpet, and it's like, we have no choice, you know? And to me, it looks like she's looking back at this situation that wasn't good for her and needed to change, he or she, right? The person here. And you know, is kind of like floating on that toxic river, or floating on that, you know, poisonous kind of, you know, some toads or frogs are actually poisonous. And when I see frogs and toads, I often think about like detoxing, you know, out of situations, okay? And completely getting yourself out of like the toxic sledge or sludge. We have creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless and creative soul, pile number 2, okay? The flower of life, you're a creative being, okay? And maybe some of you are wanting to make a mark in the world here with this status, and I'm worried about my legacy, okay? And cautioning you guys not to keep going back to a situation that maybe made you feel very empty, okay? And keep pushing forward into creation. We have here appetite, the stone, nutrition, okay? So Spirit wanting to talk to you guys about nutrition. The color of appetite combines blue for wisdom and green for health and healing. It reminds you to connect with nature for your nutritional needs, whether growing your own produce, buying organic food, eating a plant-based diet, etc. Appetite with its calcium and fluoride content may be beneficial for gums and teeth. Okay, so talking about the teeth and your health. And it says here, my body is a temple. I have the insight I need to make wise choices about my eating habits. I choose food that nourishes my body and soul. Okay, and you know, something about going back into the past, maybe even making you feel physically or emotionally ill at times. Physically, you know, sick to your stomach, feeling ill, all of that. Spirit wants to direct you away from that. We have the oyster energy here, talking about protection. You know, this always reminds me of Cancerian energy too, when I look at this oyster, and also the tummy and what we're eating, talking about like Virgo, Cancer type of energy here. Especially, I feel like this eclipse is bringing up energies of going back and over on situations and finding that sense of emptiness, right? And being able to turn away from that and move forward. We have this oyster here. So I feel like Spirit is saying, you like, we're protecting you, this new beginning, what you're trying to, this fertile period of your life is very protected. And you'll get to a point when you're ready to kind of like let others in and let other people be a part of this. But for now, I feel like whatever it is that you're working on or creating is kind of needs to be, it's kind of like when something's in the oven, or like, you know, and you're baking a cake, you don't want to take it out too early. You don't want to leave it in there forever. You got to give it time in its own domain to kind of get comfortable and to feel better, right? And there's also with the oyster too, we don't want to hide from life, and we don't want to continually distract ourselves with the past, okay? Pile number 2, we have here the waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. Okay, after this eclipse, you guys are entering a fertile period into your life, and you're guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to not resist change, okay? So this energy of creation is picking up momentum after this eclipse, which is great. And for some of you, you may want to fast during the eclipse. I know not everyone can fast, and of course, you know, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, pile number 2, but something you can do during eclipses is, you know, maybe avoid certain things that are foods or substances or things that you know have a tendency to make you feel sick or make you kind of put yourself back into the same old emotional territory. We have the sun in Pisces and a higher purpose, okay? Align yourself with love and wisdom for your higher purpose. Okay, so we could have Pisces or Cancer energy here. With the 5 of Swords is Aquarius, and the 5 of Wands is Leo. So those are some signs that could be showing up here. Definitely Cancer and Pisces showing up. And it's like, it's this energy of being kind of like stripped down and not letting, but in a good way. It's like, you know, she looks like she's very focused and determined on her path, and a cleanse, even a detoxing, right? And aligning yourself with your higher purpose, because this energy is gaining momentum. And I love that she's sitting like in a lotus pose, which is very beautiful. And she's looking at the light, okay? She's sitting in the lotus pose and looking at the light instead of looking back at, you know, old things from the past, or looking back on the roads of regret or remorse, okay? Because the energy of your life is gaining momentum, pile number 2. So let's go ahead and see. Is there anything else here Spirit would like to say about this full moon eclipse? The Queen of Cups. Ooh, that's you guys. That's you guys. There's the 5 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, not feeling well. Something with your physical self blocking maybe your progress or making you feel that sense of vitality. But I feel with this eclipse, letting the emotions run through you and letting them, letting yourself be cleansed, all right, in the waters. I love the beautiful water by her feet, not the green, you know, toxic water, but the beautiful blue water, okay? And this Queen of Cups looks happy. It's like, I feel emotionally restored. I feel better physically and emotionally. So I think that this is something, and the Queen of Cups in the tarot is also Cancer energy. So maybe during this eclipse, feeling kind of nostalgic about something, or feeling a sense of emptiness about something that has changed or happened in your life, pile number 2. But Spirit's saying to ready yourself both physically and emotionally for, you know, a new path, or for further alignment into your higher purpose. Okay, pile number 2, we're going to go ahead and take it to the extended reading. And we're going to talk about this situation and your future connections, etc. And we will likely be getting 18 plus on your reading, extended reading, pile number 2. So I'd love to see you there. And there'll be a link to my Vimeo channel below. I hope that that was helpful to you, pile number 2, and many blessings on your path. Take care. Let's move on to pile number 3. Okay, let's do it. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Sugilite alien head. I love the alien head. Good for you, pile number 3. And I'm going to leave him right up like that so you can see him, and the alien here. And we're going to go ahead and get into your reading. It's called Total Eclipse of the Heart, Full Moon Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, and I did a little intro talking about what that's about at the beginning of this reading, pile number 3. But let's go ahead and jump right in here, and we will have an extended reading. It will likely be 18 plus for those of you that want to, that would like to continue on with me. There'll be a link to my Vimeo channel below. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my pile number 3s who come here today seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium and the channel between yourself and pile number 3. Okay, pile number 3, let's go ahead and get it. I feel like you guys, you know, maybe there's been this energy of kind of hanging your head a little bit low and feeling a little bit down, or maybe a little bit depressed, or maybe a little bit ashamed about something recently, pile number 3. But I feel like Spirit is saying pick your head up and turn your head towards the light. Okay, pile number 3. And maybe some of you have felt like you've been kind of like wallowing is a word that I'm getting, pile number 3. Like wallowing in misery, or just kind of like getting very, maybe getting apathetic at times about, you know, certain things in your life, or about relationships. And Spirit really wanting you to shake this off as a good aspect of this eclipse, okay? And this eclipse, during it, the moon will be trining Mars. So it's a good time to get up and move, you know what I mean? And physically, get up and move physically, go for a walk, you know? I'm like hearing, take a shower, take a bath, right? Dust yourself off, you know, do something physical to help move some of that emotional energy, pile number 3, okay? Spirit is giving me the name Stacia, or the S names. What else here? Anastasia. What else for pile number 3? Maybe you know someone with that name. Okay, Spirit is telling me Princess Nokia. So maybe she's a musician. Maybe some of you know her. I'm also getting kind of like an anime vibe in this pile, or people who could have been into gaming or anime. Okay, pile number 3. Let's see what else here. Let's see what else, you know, like some people like to collect like those Pokemon things. I don't know what they're called, pile number 3. You have to forgive me. I'm not of that particular world or genre. So you have to, I feel like some of you here could have genuinely like geeky interests, maybe about certain time periods in history, writing, books. You could be really into, I feel you guys could be very studious at times, or you get really focused on things at times. I am also, I have to say in this pile, I'm getting, and you may get focused on your particular interests, like gaming or just certain things like that. I am kind of picking up in this pile too, like autistic, or people who have been diagnosed with autism. Maybe you have someone in your family that has that, or a cousin, a brother. Maybe you've wondered yourself, or you're dating someone who could be a little bit on the spectrum, but that's not going to resonate for everyone. But Spirit is, I'm getting some of you here had a little brother, or have as well, that maybe has dealt with that. Okay. And maybe some of you too, growing up or being around people with like special needs, or helping children in that fashion. All right. I'm just kind of getting that energy, pile number 3. So okay. Spirit's like bingo. All right. So maybe someone said something recently and was like bingo, and said something that was true to you. That's very weird. I don't know. Maybe someone here likes bingo, or someone's grandparents played bingo all the time. I don't know. Spirit's like bingo. Okay. Ringo, bingo. All right. So what else? Anything else for pile number 3 as far as channeled messages? Okay, I feel like somebody explaining something to you, pile number 3, like a scientific, like something scientific. Maybe you were explaining something scientific, but somebody explaining something, a process or a procedure or something that would be kind of scientific, and the other person like spacing off and being like, yeah, well, whatever, or something, you know. Anyway, the devil is on the bottom of the deck, pile number 3, okay? So this full moon, lunar eclipse in Scorpio, definitely taking you guys deeper into certain patterns, or into things that you maybe have been stubbornly resisting. Okay, it's like you need to push through something, but I feel like there's maybe been fear, or there's been stagnation, or like I said, maybe a little bit of apathy, right? With the 2 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, it's like, okay, we're gonna get after it, all right? And you don't have to wait for anyone else. I feel pile number 3, you can go ahead and start taking action and start moving on some energy. And maybe you felt kind of like, Spirit's also showing me the energy of like libraries, or people who, maybe a librarian or somebody who works in that industry. But this could also be work too, that like you've been waiting for something to happen, and the powers that be are not shifting, and you realize that, you know, that door is closing or narrowing, and you're looking at other options here, okay, with the 2 of Wands, and getting very creative and moving out of this stagnation that I was talking about in the beginning. I'm also getting like government jobs, all right? Pile number 3, so let's go ahead, and that's a lot of channeling. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have the World card, okay? Yeah, it's like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I still want to have fun, but I feel like somebody here checking on you and being like, are you okay, right? It's that whole thing of trying to do something, and the other person's like, it's like, I'm trying to have a romantic night, or I'm trying to enjoy myself, but I keep falling asleep, or I keep, I don't have the energy left in me, all right? With the World card is also Saturn in the tarot, so it's like pretty heavy stuff and pretty much consumed with with things going on in your world, okay? But wanting to keep those home fires burning, or wanting to, maybe for some of you, wanting to keep people happy, or not wanting to appear that you're really tired, or that, you know, you kind of need a break, all right? So some of that going on. Pile number 3, we have the High Priestess and the World card here, okay? And then we have the Purity of Freedom. Yeah, feeling like, I mean, some of you may not be feeling all that sexual during this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, okay? I'm seeing a fish and a dove here, but I'm also, there could be a Pisces in the mix here, someone that has moon in Pisces. I also see Aquarius here with this Purity of Freedom card, okay? And the High Priestess, really, she's looking at the World card like, I'm thinking about where I'm wasting time, and I'm thinking about where I need more time to myself, and I can't be, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I've been doing everything for everyone else. And maybe some of you not feeling very sexual over the last however many months, or, you know, however long, maybe not feeling, maybe like with the number 4 here, we have 2 4s. So it could be 4 months, it could be 4 weeks, but just a lot of, you know, being real busy, I feel like, for you guys, or needing some rest, okay? And I do feel like someone here wants to like massage you, or they want to touch you, or they're asking you if you're okay, or if you need some time to yourself, that type of thing. With the World card, we can talk about Saturn and boundaries and all of that. And it's like, hey, I'm sleeping, stop bugging me. This could also have to do with work, like you're trying to relax and they're continually annoying you or bugging you. And it's like, give me a break, you know? And I do feel like you guys need some alone time, and you need some time for, you know, it's almost like here, like I can get myself off, and that would be even better because I can do it in my own time and when I feel like it, because I feel like some of you just don't want to, you're just either not in the mood, or maybe you're a little bit in the mood, and you also care, but you're just, you know, I feel like some of you are just like crying for some time for yourself, or some time to detox your energy from the heaviness of the world and all the responsibilities and everything, okay? And I see someone here like touching their knee, or reference to someone's knees. So maybe there's a lot of Capricorn energy here too, with this 4 of Pentacles and the world and all of that. There is a lot of, you know, Capricornian type of energy, and the High Priestess is the moon. This moon, or this full moon lunar eclipse, is going to be squaring Saturn. So, you know, with that energy, it's like, I need some time, you know, like I'm frazzled, I need a moment, I need some space, I need some distance, and I need some relaxation, I need some me time, all right, is what I feel here for you, pile number 3, and the Purity of Freedom as well, okay? And let's see what else, okay? Because I feel like if you guys don't kind of get this time, you're going to maybe be resentful or be upset, all right? Let's see what else. I miss your warmth, cold shoulder. Okay, so you may be giving someone the cold shoulder a little bit, or someone's accusing you of giving them the cold shoulder, this type of energy. But I think you're just at a lower energy point here, pile number 3, like the solar eclipse, you know, the full moon in Libra that happened in April. I think you guys have been at a lower energy point and you've needed some time, but someone here thinks you're giving them the cold shoulder, or they're really missing your warmth, okay? And really thinking about, you know, maybe things were predictable, but at least you could count on each other, or at least, you know, you were there for one another. So there's this kind of like cold shoulder or physically distant kind of energy. I finally see shadow work. Okay. So there's something around here too about somebody feeling rejected or feeling like the person that they're with doesn't want them. Like if the other person's tired or the other person needs a break, you know, it's hard when someone's constantly over you asking you like, are you okay? Are you okay? And you're like, honestly, I just need a minute, you know? So there could be some issues around boundaries coming up here during this full moon lunar eclipse for you, pile number 3. And maybe you're finally seeing this, and the person you're with is maybe, for those of you that are dating or seeing someone, feeling like, okay, you know, when I need to disconnect, like it's not really about you, I just need some time. Okay. And maybe some of you are having that experience as well, where someone's been giving you a cold shoulder, and it's like you're starting to realize it's just kind of like a boundary issue, or people needing to have some space and freedom. Okay. And it's not about the other person or about somebody being rejecting. We have the miracle of Isis, and I love that it came out under the High Priestess, because she's definitely Isis energy. Isis offers a miracle healing, no matter how much you have struggled with a particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, or relationship issue, or inner struggle being a part of it. You are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. Let go and let the goddess be, okay? And I talked about that at the beginning of the reading about, you know, who would we be if, like, you know, certain problems or issues that have come up in our relationships and in our lives were completely wiped clean, or the energy of the lessons absorbed, but then like totally feeling like a miraculous healing, or feeling better, both physically, emotionally, spiritually. Okay. So talking about, you know, this miracle for you, pile number 3. And for some of you, it may be like, you know, talking about boundaries, rejection, not getting our needs met, not feeling the warmth of someone's love when we usually feel it, or, you know, feeling not good enough or rejected by partners. Okay. So there could be some wounding around that, or even just around like your time, effort, and energy, and your boundaries. I feel for you, pile number 3. We have dreams. The universe speaks to you through your dreams. That's nice, pile number 3. And here's the 4 of Swords. Okay. And the universe is speaking to you through your dreams. And I do think you're being cleansed through your dreams. All right. And maybe some of you with the High Priestess, you need some time to dream. You need some creative time. You need some alone time. You need some time to spend like mapping out your next move or what you want to do next. Okay. And you need some creative space and freedom in that regard. We have tree agate, inner strength. When you see a big tree, think about its history. Despite living through all types of harsh weather, it has grown tall, sturdy, and stable. Yes, with the 4 of Pentacles in the world, grown very strong, sturdy, and stable. Tree agate fortifies you with inner strength during times of adversity. Facing challenges helps you grow and gives you the opportunity to become a stronger person. Health-wise, tree agate enhances the immune system and helps to fight infection. Okay, and the affirmation here is, during tough times, I have what it takes to remain calm, steady, and strong. Yes, you do, pile number 3. Yes, you absolutely do. And that's great. You do have a lot of inner strength, okay? But, I mean, there seems to be like maybe a lack of connection, all right? I'm definitely getting Capricorn and Aquarius vibes. And that moon squaring Saturn, there seems to be a lot of inner strength for you, pile number 3, but maybe lacking that deep connection, or that deep soul connection, that deep spiritual connection at times, and feeling like you need time to work through that or work through those feelings, or maybe even cut some things out of your life. We have the earthworm here, and this is coming out under I finally see shadow work. You know, basically where we've been hiding from what we really want, and not really coming up for air, you know, like just kind of burying our head in the sands and just kind of going with it instead of, and going with the same routine or doing the same thing over and over, when we really need some freedom to kind of like write our own story or do different things, is what I'm getting for you, pile number 3. Okay. And I talked about that energy of like apathy with the earthworm. I mean, the earthworm is very strong, stable, and sturdy. Not like in the sense that it's a worm, but in the sense that it can find a way to live in the earth without, you know, it can find its way basically. And it kind of like burrows in and finds its way, which is great. But I think right now you guys need a sense of freedom. And with this earthworm too, there could be a sense of not feeling good enough, or just feeling like, you know, even like this sense of I feel pathetic for wanting certain things, that type of thing. All right. Or being really harsh with yourself, or conditioning yourself to kind of go without at certain times. All right. Pile number 3, which, I mean, it takes a lot of inner strength to do that and to kind of get to where you are today. But I do think you guys need some like soul medicine, and you need some alone time, but you also do need like, you know, other people and sexual connections, and not things that just feel like routine, is what I'm getting. Okay. We have here, show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. Yeah. Show the world the real you. And maybe some of you with the High Priestess, you've been kind of hiding. And we have the World card here, right? Maybe you've been kind of hiding behind certain things at times. But Spirit's saying here, or burying your head in the sand, the earthworm, right? But Spirit's saying, show the world the real you, okay? And I think that's going to reduce some of the apathy maybe that you've been feeling. Ooh, we have Sun in Libra, harmony. Enjoy life with music, love, and romance. Very nice, pile number 3. And it's not that you can't have beautiful love and, you know, music and art and romance, and all of these things come under the direction of Venus, okay? And giving yourself a bit more time to enjoy. And I love these 2 swans on the water, and then she's standing in the water, and then we have dreams here. And yeah, it's very, with the red rose, very classically beautiful, coming across as being very classically beautiful, pile number 3. And yeah, Spirit telling you, I feel like after this lunar eclipse, things getting lighter, not feeling so heavy for you. And who knows, like we have relationship harmony kind of returning. So some of you that have felt very heavy in your relationships, or just felt very like you can't really attend to your partner like they want you to, or you're feeling very unattended to by your partner, and there is some, you know, maybe feelings of rejection and things like that going on, okay, between either you or them. But I feel like here we are enjoying life more with music, art, romance, all these different things, okay? So show the world the real you, and I think it's gonna lead to, you know, connections that are like very inspiring and loving, okay, and creative. All right, pile number 3, let's go ahead and see when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse here for pile number 3. Spirit, can you tell me regarding pile number 3's relationships, what does pile number 3 need to know? What does pile number 3 need to know? What does pile number 3 need to know? We have Page of Pentacles. All right, it's not for lack of trying. We're all students of life, okay? What does pile number 3 need to know about relationships? The High Priestess, there you are again. There you are again. And you know, maybe there's aspects that you're like, I don't have time for that, or I need some space or distance here with the High Priestess, okay? And I feel like you guys kind of outgrowing some of your old patterns in relationship, okay? And like really maturing out of those old patterns. Also, I feel like with the Page of Pentacles and the High Priestess, it's like, what do I really want? What do I really, really want when I get right down to it? What is it that really I want to create relationship-wise, okay? And what am I learning? And what am I putting my time, effort, and energy into? And is it worth it? Okay, let's see what else here. We have the Seven of Swords, okay? So it's like more Aquarius energy. And it's like, do I want to keep kind of like, the High Priestess is great, but with the Page of Pentacles, I feel like, is it kind of like I just want to keep doing the same thing, maybe unconsciously, and just kind of doing it that way? Or do I want to try to do something different that may piss some people off, or may make some people wonder, like, what's gotten into me here? Okay, what else can you say here regarding relationships? We have the Six of Swords, okay? Like, stop worrying about it is what I would say, and just move on. Like, if something isn't resonating with you, and we have the Lovers on the bottom of the deck here, so definitely relationships are a focal point, but maybe not so much of your energy going into that right now. I feel like sometimes maybe you're like, yeah, okay, I could check this out. And then it's like, no, I'm not feeling it, right? With the Seven and the Six of Swords, it's like, all right, maybe so. Maybe I'll check out this whole situation. And then it's like, not feeling it. So some of you may have actually kind of put love on a back burner to some extent, and maybe wanting to focus on some other things. However, I do feel like there's a part of you that's kind of maybe still figuring out what it is that you want now that you've moved into a different phase of your life, and if certain relationships are actually compatible with you at this phase or not, okay? It's kind of the energy that I'm getting for you, pile number 3. And for those of you that would like to join me on the extended reading, I'd love to see you there. And we will get deeper into the energy of this reading, pile number 3, and we'll probably also get 18 plus on the extended reading as well. Thank you so much, pile number 3, and many blessings for your full moon in Scorpio. Let's move on to pile number 4. Okay. Let's do it. Pile number 4, welcome to your reading. You chose the Black Obsidian Pyramid, okay? Ooh la la, so mysterious. Pile number 4. And normally I don't do 4 piles, but I thought, why not? We're gonna really make it fun today and give you guys some choices. You can always watch other piles too. But here we go into pile number 4, and we're asking total eclipse of the heart, full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. We're going to ask about what pile number 4 needs to know regarding their relationships during this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, okay? Spirit, and we also will have an extended reading at the end. Pile number 4, we will be getting 18 plus, okay? Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my pile number 4s who come here today seeking your guidance. Ooh la la. Pile number 4, spirits like Egyptian music, belly dancing, like giving me some of these things. Maybe you're into that or you like it. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium in the channel between yourself and pile number 3, or number 4. A distinctly like Middle Eastern type of vibe here for you, pile number 4. Let's see what else here. Let's see what else, Spirit. Okay, Spirit is telling me gardenia, which is a flower or some really nice smelling perfume or lotion maybe some of you have that smells like that. They're showing me a white flower like a gardenia. What else here for pile number 4, please? Okay. Spirit is showing me the Magician, like the card, the Magician in the tarot, and talking to me about Merlin, the Magician. So maybe some of you identify with that type of wizard, magician-y, priestessy type of energy. Let's see what else for pile number 4, please. Okay. You know, there's some people in your life, pile number 4, that I feel like could have had a pattern of like learned helplessness, or maybe, you know, you were taught to kind of have this pattern in your life, or maybe there's this pattern of like, well, I can't do it, so I'm going to give up. Or there's people around you that have been like this, and maybe their energy has kind of affected you. But Spirit is talking to me about learned helplessness, and maybe that's something you guys can Google as well. But it's something that's coming up during this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, Spirit's also showing me like a big, you know, like when you're in a plane and you see you're overhead and you see like a ton of trees, like green trees, looking out the plane window or that type. I feel like I'm looking at something overhead and it's like a lot of, you know, pretty green trees or different things like that, okay? I'm kind of getting like a gardening vibe in your pile number 4. Maybe some of you are into that. The Spirit is showing me those green trees. Spirit is also telling me fairies and fantasies. So maybe some of you like to play outside when you're kids and you're like, oh yeah, I saw fairies all the time, or I would have my imaginary friends. I mean, imaginary friends are not so imaginary, right? Pile number 4. Okay, Spirit is also showing me like something fuchsia. Maybe it's a shirt. They're showing me like a sash or something that goes across someone. It could be like a strap of a purse. It could be like a reddish purplish color, but Spirit is also telling me the color fuchsia. Let's see what else here for pile number 4. It could be like a seat belt too, or you know how some people put those covers over seat belts so that they kind of don't dig into you when you put them on. Interesting. Pile number 4. Do you guys have some tricked out cars or vehicles or just different things that you do? Anyway, pile number 4. Let's see what else here. Let's see what else here. Okay. Spirit is talking to me about the Grim Reaper. Okay. Spirit is talking to me about Grimm or the Grimm, like Grimm's fairy tales. I feel like too, maybe some of those fairy tales, like the Grimm fairy tales, Grimm, and is also talking to me about Grimes, the musician. So maybe some of you know her or you've heard of her before. But Spirit's talking to me about that, okay? So we have the 5 of Cups here, and on the bottom of the deck after all that shuffling, which tells me that pile number 4, there is a feeling of mourning or grieving and needing to kind of let go, and maybe even like forgiveness coming up at this eclipse time. I talked about learned helplessness, where these cups are at his feet and, you know, the blood's leaking everywhere and it's all we can do but to kind of watch it. Sometimes we can watch other people going through really dark experiences or really dark things, and we want to be able to help them, but we can't. You know what I mean? And by continuing to like, you know, focus on things, we forget that there's certain things in our lives that we need to get out of the zone of suffering. And I know suffering is a part of life, and I am not one of those toxic positivity people. Pile number 4, if we're having a shitty day, we're having a shitty day. That's, you know, I mean, cry it out, live it out. We all have to live it out. But I also feel like there's some situations that you guys have been pretty upset about or sad about, or have caused you a great deal of distress, that maybe there's not a whole lot that you can do about, okay? Like other people are kind of like, you know, doing what they do best, which might be, you know, shooting their own selves in the foot, or, you know, just not doing really anything to help themselves. And sometimes we're in a position where we truly can't do anything and we need other people to help us, but then there are times when there are things that we could do, you know what I mean? And we have to, it may sound harsh, the 5 of Cups can be very, very harsh emotionally, but it's like we have to get up off the floor and, you know, wipe the blood off the corner of our mouth and, you know, type of thing, and like emotionally, right? And just be like, okay, and get ourselves up and dust ourselves off. And that can feel very, very hard when we're in the Five of Cups, or we're seeing other people go through that, okay? And there's not a lot we can do, you know? So pile number 4, you know, we get into these emotional quandaries in life, and I feel like this full moon in Scorpio may be highlighting some of this in your life, or highlighting a current situation that has come up, okay? So we have the King of Pentacles here. So here we have the King of Pentacles in the tarot is Virgo energy, but I also think of the King of Pentacles as Taurus. Like when I see the King of Pentacles, I'm like, why is that not a Taurus, right? But the Knight of Pentacles is Taurus in the tarot. We have 3 of Pentacles here, okay? So a lot of earthy energy. We have the 2 of Wands. So there is a lot of, you know, there is a strong foundation, I feel like, between you and another person that has the ability to manifest and has the ability to go far in your life, okay? Or it has the ability to, you know, if you guys haven't met anyone yet, or you don't have a certain someone in your life yet, I do feel like, you know, within the next 2 to 3 months, and we have the number 32 here, so some of you could be around that age, but in the next 2 to 3 months, I feel like this eclipse is helping you to release this 5 of Cups so that we can have this King of Pentacles, or we can have a better, like more solid, passionate connection kind of coming in. There may also be here, because of the image projected here, this feeling of, you know, getting really close to them, or letting someone get really close to us intimately, but then feeling like a little bit shy, or feeling a little bit exposed. You know what I mean? And some people are more comfortable with that. There's a lot of earthy energy so far in your pile, and also fire with the 2 of Wands. Some people are just a little more comfortable with showing like all the sides of themselves, and other people just need some time to kind of like, you know, they don't really want to feel, it's like giving yourself enough time to kind of ease your way into some really, you know, passionate, caring, foundation is what I feel, pile number 4, okay? But maybe there's some resistance to that, or, you know, we're holding ourselves back a little bit. But I feel like this energy wants to manifest in your life, because the 2 and the 3s in the tarot are very much about a manifestation and something growing, and, you know, that spark of life, and then the container for it. So, you know, and here with the King of Pentacles, it can feel kind of demanding sometimes, you know, and everyone wants to get into a relationship and be in love and all of that, which is great. But there's the part where, you know, our insecurities are a little bit on display. There's the part when we feel a little bit shy. There's a part, you know, it's fun and it's exciting and it's growing, but there's also things that come up along the way. We have here like a flower in the springtime, and we have the number 5, and then we have Taurus energy here. So we have Venus in Taurus, and that's really nice. And to me, this is about like loving the body. To me, this is about like being really comfortable with your body, being really comfortable, like, you know, like not feeling shy, not feeling like a lot of people grow up with, I mean, everyone has insecurities. I know I do, but like, there's a sense here about this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio helping you guys to kind of release, if you have any hangups or if you have any insecurities, to kind of help you release that and just feel like really, you know, feel really like sensual or sexual in your own skin, and really love and appreciate yourself. And also like even maybe going from feeling really shy to becoming more of like exhibitionist, okay? And, you know, and I see that happening here. There could also be an age difference. I'm seeing, you know, some like maybe there's an older man and a younger woman here, or older woman, younger man. You take it as it resonates, pile number 4, but I am kind of seeing that a little bit here. But I feel like no matter what your age, it's like, wow, I'm like a flower in the springtime. And it is springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay. And we're in the height of spring in the middle of May, like this. And it is time to get comfortable. It is time to, it is time to kind of let go of our insecurities, It's like time to kind of run around naked and feel good about ourselves, right? And not worry so much about what other people think of us. And that's cool, pile number 4. That's really cool as far as your lunar eclipse energy, all right? And this moon lunar eclipse the moon is also sextiling Pluto. So it's like I'm sexual, I'm comfortable, I can be free with myself and let myself like breathe and not be afraid of what other people are going to think about me. This moon is also trining Mars, which says like I can take action and experience like, and not be inhibited is what I'm feeling. All right. We have here, I just want to escape, mind altered. Yeah, so it's like those moments when we start feeling insecure. This moon is also trining Neptune, and it looks like someone is smoking a J here, or just wanting to escape into fantasy. I was talking a lot about fantasy earlier. The differences between the fantasy and the reality, of course, in relationships and the maturing of those things, right? With the King of Pentacles here. And it's like when I get uncomfortable, I just kind of want to escape, and that helps me not feel so inhibited, okay? So this full moon is in a trine to Neptune, which says maybe you'll have on this full moon, you'll be letting loose a little bit, or you'll be wanting to escape a little bit, especially if you feel like you want to open up, but you're feeling a little insecure, okay? Because with the 3 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles, I'm seeing like 2 people really relating to each other and getting more comfortable with each other, all right? So interesting. I'm fighting so hard to become a better man, determined, okay? And I feel like this King of Pentacles is, really trying. They're like, if I did anything to like upset you, or if I made you feel uncomfortable, okay, or if I made you feel on the spot, or if I made you feel less than, that type of thing, I feel like they're saying, I'm sorry, like let's go out. 2 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, let's stay in and hold each other close. But this person's saying, I'm fighting so hard to become better, a better man or a better woman. I feel like even physically too, like maybe in the gym or trying to take better care of themselves in total. All right. I'm fighting so hard to become better. And, but maybe this person sometimes like escaping at times too, or just not staying real committed to the process. Although I feel like the 3 of Pentacles is quite committed to a process of something. So it's like, I'm trying, but I also at times need to get mind altered. Okay. We have stay true and be in your power. Okay. This is the Isis deck. Stay true and be in your power, pile number 4. Yeah. The moon sextile Pluto. You are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose, right? Like you don't need to feel bad or feel weird for wanting the things that you want and being who you are. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as a precious treasure that it is. And remember that you are a divine being free to be you. And she looks very free right here, like a flower in the spring, and this 2 of Wands, like, wow, I feel so free. And how exciting, right? And so this spirit just saying you do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you want. And maybe some of you had fathers that were very demanding, or that could ridicule at times, or could be really harsh with what things they said or how they judged. Or maybe some of you have been in partnerships like that with people who's been very judgmental or made you feel like you know, just made you feel like very shy or withdrawn at times. And maybe that's where like the mind altered escaping is coming from. All right. But I do see someone here wanting to become a better person and being determined to become a better person. We all are, right? Pile number 4, we're all determined. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Yeah. Sometimes we're open and flowering. Other times we're closed up and wanting to escape. Sometimes we're gung-ho on something, really building something, pushing for it, growing, you know, being super, you know, dialed into a plan with someone else, okay? So observing your own fluctuations in life and how you feel and why you're feeling that way is something that I feel like you guys are doing during this full moon lunar eclipse. Like observing yourself and how you are around different people is something to think about too. We have here balance and the zebra stone, okay? The zebra stone contains the black and white colors of the zebra. Black is the color of the earth plane. White indicates the spiritual realm. For light workers, it helps balance living spiritual life on the physical plane. Like the horse, zebra stone assists you to be balanced and sure-footed and to work in both realms while remaining stable and poised, okay? Talking about remaining stable and poised and opening up. I balance living my physical life with my spiritual path, okay? So this is something that you're observing, I feel like, during this full moon lunar eclipse, and it is very spiritual for you. And Pluto reminding us in a positive way to stay true to ourselves and be in our power, okay? And, you know, like take charge of our own development is what I would say here too. Wow, the tiger. I love that. Pile number 4. That I was actually channeling a tiger. I think it was in pile number 2. So if some of you are coming over from pile number 2 and watching pile number 4, here's the tiger that was following you around from pile number 2, coming to say hi to you in pile number 4. Maybe this is a sign some of you should watch pile number 2 as well. But look at this fierce, determined energy. Stay true and be in your power. And this is fire energy, but it also represents lunar fire, which this full moon is trining Mars. And it also, this moon is in Scorpio. The ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars. So this is a very Marsed up moon. Also with the sextile to Pluto, which is telling ourselves to like not be shy, to not hide ourselves, to not be ashamed of who we are. And, you know, to really commit to opening up and staying with the process, okay? And this tiger's following you around, pile number 4, to tell you, like, you know, to keep pushing yourself in this direction, okay? The tiger in this deck also like associated with the high priestess and the moon, right? So balancing the physical world with the material world, as we talked about, or balancing the physical world with the spiritual world. Ah, here it is. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. We can't get away from it, can we? Pile number 4. Full moon in Pisces, okay? All the feels. And, you know, like really being attracted to somebody's energy, really being spiritually pulled into someone and wanting to experience like deep connection, deep emotional and spiritual connection. But sometimes we kind of fight ourselves on that, because to get into that, we have to, you know, be brave like the tiger. We have to stay balanced. We have to be able to be in our own power. We need to resist the urge to escape, you know, all the time, right? So there is something here about balancing out your spiritual energy with your material energy, all right? Not being afraid of like, not always trying to escape, right? If you have someone in your life who's always wanting to escape or get mind altered, or sometimes you feel that way, and it doesn't have to be drugs, it can just be like wanting to be more in the spiritual and less in the material. But these cards here are very much about anchoring something in the material. Yeah, we have the sun in Cancer and home. Okay, focus on your home and love. Yeah, pile number 4. focus on, you know, your home, your spiritual home, your physical home. Focus on a sense of family and home during this eclipse. And it may not be like your actual family, it may be your soul family, but this sense of belonging, you know. And Sun in Cancer, I feel like Cancer season is going to be like really epic for you guys, and I feel like you're preparing for that now, okay? And you're being pushed along here by this tiger energy. You're also being told to balance yourself, to be in your power, and to observe your own cycles, okay? And some of you could be wanting to have a new home, or wanting to have like a safe sense of belonging. All right, and being focused on the material plane is something that will help us feel safer, right? If we have like a beautiful place to live, or we feel very safe at home, right? Like, you know, we have to focus equally. You know, when we're on the material plane, we have to also be material, but we also have to be spiritual, okay? So it truly is a balance here with this zebra stone. And I feel like by Cancer season, which is like a couple months away, you know, by Cancer season, or less than a couple months actually, it's like a month and a couple weeks, you know, by that time you guys are going to be balanced out and where you want to be is what I feel, okay? So if you're not where you're at now, like even physically, right? Like with your body and how you feel about it, or if you're not there as far as your home and where you want to live, or if you feel like you're holding back when it comes to relationships and forming a foundation, I feel by Cancer, or you feel someone else is holding back, I feel by Cancer time, some of these energies are going to lift off you. All right. I mean, this lunar eclipse is already creating a pathway for you, pile number 4. Let's see what else here. Can you tell me, Spirit, when it comes to pile number 4, can you tell me if you have any information here for pile number 4 regarding their relationships? The High Priestess. Wow, the High Priestess has been coming up in almost all the piles, talking about observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life, the spiritual side, okay? And of course, the 2 pillars on either side of the High Priestess represent the material plane with the black pillar, and the spiritual plane with the white pillar, and then everything that comes in between with the mysteries behind the curtain, okay? So the High Priestess representing coming down that middle pillar of balance between the material and the spiritual, all right? And she knows the secrets of how to balance that energy of dark and light, and how to stay grounded and rooted, and how to move with the cycles of life, okay? The High Priestess also has to do with our subconscious mind and what we're observing about ourselves, okay? And maybe not getting too caught up in that pattern of escaping, so that we can stay very present and observing like where we're at and what we're feeling, okay? The High Priestess can also talk about like where we're afraid to expose ourselves, or feeling the need to kind of like cover ourselves up, when I talked about the body as well. We have the 4 of Pentacles here, so we don't want to be, this is the material, okay? So the 4 of Pentacles in the tarot is the Lord of earthly power, and it represents Capricorn. High Priestess represents spiritual power. So we have the earthly, and then we have the spiritual. And thinking about your partnerships too, are your partnerships balanced? Is one person representing the entire spiritual aspect of the relationship and the other person is more focused on the material, or vice versa? And how are we handling that energy in our relationships, okay? And do we switch off at different times? Like someone else is being very spiritual, the other person is being material. How do we balance each other out? And how do we, I feel like some of you guys here have been with partners that have not been very flexible, and they haven't, maybe they haven't really respected or appreciated your spiritual side at times. And some of you may have even had fathers or parents in your life that were also very closed off to this side of you, or didn't really appreciate it. But I feel like that's where we're talking about balance, right? Like we can't have It's like when one person gets very stubbornly entrenched in like what they are all the time and doesn't change, then the other person is like stuck just having to balance that energy out. You know what I mean? And go wherever the balance is. But with the High Priestess and the Four of Pentacles, it's like, be flexible, right? There's someone here that needs to be more flexible, and there's also someone here that needs to, you know, maybe stop escaping, right? And sometimes we escape because we have past where we had hard things happen to us, or we have a sense of wanting to disassociate at times because of challenging things, right? But talking about needing to maintain the balance in our relationships. And pile number 4, if you have a tendency of getting with people who are like very logical and who don't really give you, who don't really honor the spiritual aspect of you, or you feel like you always have to keep that separate from someone, I feel like this is something also to observe and think about in your partnerships. Or if you've had this in the past, I feel this is coming up for healing around this eclipse, okay? So pile number 4, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. We are gonna take it to your extended reading next, and we'll get 18 plus, and we will get into even deeper with this reading, all right? So if you wanna go there with me, you'll find the Vimeo link below in my description box. Thank you all to everyone, and have a beautiful eclipse time, and stay safe out there. Take care.